Hello, everybody. This is the TBK podcast. I'm your host, David, and I'm joined tonight by my brother, Mr. Tunde. Say hello to the people, bro.
What's good, people?
Yeah, so we're here today to discuss the Brook Amir Khan fight, or the Amir Khan Brook fight coming up this Saturday. Yeah, you know what? Let's get straight to it, bro, because I really want to hear your thoughts on this one, man. I think we've got a lot to cover. What are you saying for this fight, bro?
Do you know what? It's been a long time coming. I mean, this really should have happened about 8 years ago, even 5 years ago. But it's happened now, and I thought, they're both past it. But as time's gone on, I've really been excited for the fight. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I'm hoping that it'll be like a blood and guts affair where like they really pull it out of the bag on each other. Like they really go to war. Like, we see a couple of knockdowns on each side. We just see the fight going back and forth. Like I want to see a real dust up between the two. I want it to go like however long it goes. I mean, I prefer it go 12 rounds, but if it goes 6, 7, 8, whatever, so long as there's a proper dust up between the two, then it'll be cool. It's got all the ingredients for a proper dust up. But what we don't know is, I mean, like both of them are, I won't say they're past their prime by a good distance. So we don't know what they had left. I mean, looking at the light training, they both look in phenomenal shape. Brook in particular looks like a beast, but we don't know what's left. That's the thing. That's the unpredictable aspect. We don't know what they had left. We don't know if Khan is still lightning quick. We do know that his jaw hasn't changed. But we don't know if Brook still has that power, still has that timing. Both got beat by Terence Crawford, in varying manners, but it makes for an intriguing fight. I'd say it's 50-50 because anything can happen. If Khan is reckless and comes out with his big ball machismo, you can hurt me, but I'm still going to fight you, and he's going to get sparked. He is going to get sparked out cold, yeah? He's going to be slept. If Brook still has like psychological nightmares about his eye sockets crumpling, and the thing is, Khan is, if he has those same fast hands, he will cause damage. Like, I don't care how reinforced those eye sockets are. Like, if he takes a barrage of punches early on, because Khan is a notoriously fast starter. If he's going for the eye sockets, Brook is going to be looking like a Rice Krispie at the end of it. Yeah, even
Go on.
Man's eyes are going to puff up faster than a steak bake at Greg's. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So we don't know. Like it's very intriguing. Like I honestly, I cannot wait to see this fight. Like I really hope that it meets expectations and is a really, really good fight. I'm hoping that if it is a bit of a humdinger, even if one loses, that it's a creditable loss, that like they've given everything. Although they've lost, they haven't been beat up. So that gives us because I think there's a rematch clause. So I'm hoping that it just fulfills all expectations. But honestly, I have no idea who's going to win. It's just, I think it's 50-50 for me.
I can't lie. I'm looking forward to this fight like I haven't looked forward to a fight in a long time. And truth be told, I don't think it's 50-50, bro. I don't think it's 50-50. I think Amir Khan has to do what he's done in the past well, and capitalize from it, and that's basically start so fast. Brook just can't get a chance to settle or find any kind of rhythm, because Brook's timing, I've always felt that Brook's timing would beat Khan's speed, and if they were to meet, I still hold to that. And now that now the fight's actually coming, I truly believe, still in my heart, that Brook's timing will beat Khan's speed, especially if Khan doesn't capitalize on what we know for him to notoriously do, and that is start fast. I think looking at it, I can't see him fighting the way he fought Kotelnik to win the his first title at 140. I think that because he's shown Brook so little respect, he's going to try and stamp his authority on the night. And that isn't going to be by moving in and out. That's going to be by planting his feet and thinking he can have a go. We'll touch on this now. I don't know if you saw the second behind the gloves when he actually said that he's a harder puncher, he's faster, and contrary to popular belief, he thinks he's got a better chin than Kell Brook.
You know what it is, yeah? I think that he's been training above sea level, right? I think it's messed with some of his brain cells because nobody in their right mind can ever say that Khan has got a better chin than Brook. In fact, I don't think Khan has a better chin than some people that are just starting out in boxing. His chin is fragile. Khan has always been somebody who's a bit braggadocious and he will just come out with all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, watching that second episode, I was thinking, this man is deluded. If he he even said it himself, like, oh, you may not believe it, or most of you may not believe me, but I think my chin's better than
but it's not
thinking, like, what are you? Even me, I'm just thinking, like, are you, like, is this guy right?
The fact that he said it, yeah, shows how little he thinks of Kell Brook. Oh, you know what? I say that's the impression I think he's trying to give off, that he doesn't care enough about Kell Brook, or that he just thinks that he's that much better than Kell Brook. He don't gotta care. Either way, I think it make, like as you said, man, it's got all the ingredients of an absolute barnstormer, and I don't think that, especially after today's press conference, I don't think we're going to be let down as fans. I genuinely don't. We're going to be let down because, to be honest with you, I want to see if the trainer's getting the ring after. You know what I'm saying? Cause Ingle better not let Bomac drop on top of him because he ain't moving. Well, yeah, we know that. Whichever way it goes, man, whether he sits on him or whether he just falls on him, either which way, he's done, man.
But I just want to, just as an aside, yeah, you watched the first episode of the.
I watched the first episode of. So
there's something that I just need to sort of like. It's disturbed me. It's disturbed me. Yeah,
bro. Please say it out loud because it's disturbed me too. Go on, carry on now.
So I'm talking about it like it's a movie and it's not a movie. Yeah, this actually happened. So Dominic Ingles told Kell to take off his shirt or whatever. He's just finished like an element of training, and he's like, yeah, and he's holding out a big glass mug, and he's saying to Kell Brook, yeah, wring it out. Let's see how much sweat you've produced. Yeah, and his top is like soaked through. And he's ringing this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, why is man holding the mug, yeah, and all that Brook sweat is just all over his hand and whatnot? What kind of, anyway?
It's lucky that so much of it was over his hand and on the floor, because a lot of it missed that cup.
Yeah, but there was a fair bit that went in there because then he pretended like he was going to neck it, and then he did. He drank it.
Bro,
he drank Kell Brook's sweat, bro.
Bro, listen, I said that today in the group, yeah? Someone asked the question, he didn't, did he? And I said yes, and I described it. And people told me, yeah, by the way, sorry people, this is the Boxing Banter Fight Talk group that we're in. Admin WhatsApp group. And somebody told me that I was lying. yeah. Somebody told me that I was lying because they cannot believe that something so grotesque happened. Now I say straight, we know that Dominic
sweat like it's tango.
Bruv, like it was water. Yeah, because tango, if you can't drink things you drink fast, you gotta take your time with it. Man, he threw this back. I'm father to a children. Bro, I wouldn't even drink my children's sweat.
Hell no.
Yeah. Now we know Dominic Ingle and Kell Brook have got a special, I say in inverted commas, relationship. How special? Can't comment on, don't really know that much. But
but they do call it a special one, innit?
Bro, they call it a special one. yeah, they call it a special one. And I don't know what goes on in is it not Lanzarote? Is it Lanzarote they're training?
No, Fuerteventura or something.
Fuerteventura. I don't know what's in the air in Fuerteventura. But my gosh, I don't want it to catch me. I don't want it to catch me because I don't know how another man can be drinking another man's grown-ass man's sweat. I mean, lucky he never asked him to. Lucky he never asked him to. The chocolate. Oh yeah, he wanted to get a taste of the chocolate brownies. Hey, you know what? Actually, I tell you what, I'm glad about. I'm glad he didn't ask him to flipping do that with his shorts.
Oh man.
Anyway, we digress. Let's get back on track. Let's get back on track. Having watched both of those, gloves are off. Having watched both of those behind the gloves, and even the gloves are off. One thing that we have both commented on to each other is there's a lot of clearly pent up rage in Kell Brook.
Yep.
Because of how much this fight means to him, because of how much he seems to be, quote unquote, begging for Khan's respect and acknowledgement, which is something I don't particularly like. But again, if he channels that, I think he will channel it, and that's another part of the reason why I have him winning this fight. Yeah, what do you think about that, bro? Like, do you think he's giving Khan an advantage because of, well, just how far ahead psychologically Khan is of him?
Yeah, because here's the thing with Brook, yeah. He has, I mean, he said it in the gloves are off. He said it in previous occasions that he felt that he didn't get any respect from Khan. Khan is just another fighter. Why doesn't he need respect from him? That's one, yeah. For 15 years he's been chasing Khan. And we can even go so far as to say he has ruined his career because of Khan, because of his fixation with Khan. Right? Like they were due to fight, they were in talks to fight, you know, a few years ago. Khan opted to fight with to take the fight with Canelo. Yeah. And the thing is, you can say a lot of things about Khan, but Khan, he's all about the big fights. He's all about taking on, you know, he's all about daring to be great. Yeah. Again, Brook was left to the side. So he took the opportunity to, you know, volunteer to fight Golovkin when Eubank refused to take the fight. That one thing alone ruined his career.
Well, yeah? I mean, it's what tore his face apart, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's two aspects to this. One, in fighting Golovkin. Two, in going up. He went up two weights? 2 weight classes?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. To fight Golovkin. He's always been very big at 147, right? Yeah. So even before going up in weight to fight Golovkin, he was finding it a chore to get down to 147. He got absolutely violated by Golovkin in that fight. You know, smashed up his face, yeah? Broke his eye socket, weakened the other half of his skull to the point where Errol Spence decided to, you know, mash the other eye socket, right? Had he not fought Golovkin, I earnestly believe that he would have beat Errol Spence.
Yeah. What we can be sure of is that it wouldn't have been a stoppage.
No way.
If he had lost to Spence, it wouldn't have been a stoppage defeat.
Yeah, but he would have. I think he would have beat Spence. And then also, when fighters go up in weight and then come back down, they lose something. And we've seen it numerous times with fighters. You can't go up in weight. Like, it's bad enough going up in weight, like one weight class, but he's gone up 2. And then to come back down to 147, I think I think the fights he had after that weren't great. He ruined himself with that. And the fight he had with Crawford, I've never seen him like that before, ever. Yeah? To
be fair to him though, I mean, obviously we know that sometimes in boxing we've got certain biases, and I think a lot of people will always have others' backs. But he himself and other people have all said furthermore, that's something that's never happened to him in a fight or in sparring. Like, Crawford is literally the only man to do what he has done to him, in spite of what Khan says about fighting him with one hand. You know, which we can't, none of us have been there to say it happened or it didn't happen really. So, you know, I think with the whole Crawford thing now, because Bomac is now saying that the reason why Khan beats him is because of what Crawford did to them both. Khan showed that he wanted to fight, whereas Brook didn't, which I don't agree with, because we all know that Khan claimed he got punched in his balls and he didn't, and actually chose to stop fighting. Whereas in the Brook fight, the ref stepped in.
But he took a blow that 5-6 fights ago, that wouldn't have stopped him.
Well, the thing is, right? I agree with that, but I'll say this again: timing beats speed. Timing beats everything. And to be perfectly fair, he was perfectly timed in that shot. Do you know what I mean? With that shot, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was getting beat up. You know, Crawford turned it on, and there was no looking back once he did. But he was so perfectly timed, like one of the sweetest punches I think I've seen in terms of the timing of it for a long time, probably ever. Maybe that means I haven't watched enough Spice, I don't know. You know, again, I felt like he was done, but I don't feel like Khan can use that as an advantage other than psychologically. It's not a physical advantage. I mean, yes, he's been iced by Canelo, and that's not the worst thing to have happened to just him, because bigger fighters than him have been iced by Canelo, but he's been put down by fighters that wouldn't wobble Brook. And granted, both of them are a little bit not punch drunk as well. Yeah, maybe they are a bit punch drunk, because I feel that Khan's speed wasn't there in the Crawford fight, and part of it is that Crawford took it away. Another part of it is that Khan just didn't have it like he normally does. Yeah. So I think the things that are being used by Team Khan to highlight as advantages, just in my opinion, they're not really there. And I think that's why even today, you know, it's like immediately he had to jump on mind games. He had to jump on disrespecting Brook. He had to jump, like, you know, Brook let him speak. As soon as Brook was speaking, he was trying to stop Brook from speaking. The same thing happened with Bomac and Dominic Ingle, even though I think Dominic Ingle held his own quite well. Some people would disagree, but I don't. Just because someone makes a lot of noise, it doesn't mean they're doing better or whatever. Yeah. But I think that Khan, for me today, there was a chink in the armor a little bit, especially when Brook started talking about his weight and whether or not he's just going to pay the money for the fine. Like you could see that unnerved Khan slightly. Yeah, and as calm as he seems, because obviously we know he's been in some mega fights, he's had more big nights than Brook has, there's no choice about that, and in less fights he's shown more promise than Brook in the level of opponents that he's gone up against, no denying that. But there was a little bit of a chink in the armor today, and for the first time during this whole thing, he's shown that Brook might have actually got to him just for a brief second. Because you could hear by the silence that it unnerved him slightly, because obviously we know that naturally Brook is a bigger fighter, and Brook actually said, you know, we've both struggled to get down to 147 while we're fighting at 149. It's just another thing that he tries to make sure that he's got an advantage on. But if Brook comes in over the weight during the weigh-in tomorrow, that would be advantage Brook without a doubt, because he's looking at it as well. All right, it's an expensive sweet or an expensive meal. Do you know what I mean? Because paying a few $100 just to flipping tip the scale by a pound or two, that's pointless as far as I'm concerned. But if he's ready to dismiss it and just say, you know what, there's your few $100 or whatever it is, I'm going to earn more knocking you out the next day. And let's not forget, at this point, he's actually Brook's favourite. The smart one is on Khan, because you're not going to get it because he's not the favourite. And I think it's these things that Khan might not say it out loud. I think these are the things that give Brook the advantage he needs. Because let's be honest, in terms of the verbal exchanges, he's not winning. I mean, he doesn't sound like he can string two flipping words together. He's
not known for his intellect.
No, he definitely isn't, bruv. I mean, and his articulation. I mean, you know, you've heard some of the stuff that he says. Chocolate brownies, baby. Like, like, come on, dog. You know what I mean? Like, who told somebody that their main weapon is a chocolate brownie? Like that? Nah, dude, that just doesn't sound like threatening in the slightest. You understand?
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
None at all. And that's one thing about that Spence defeat, bruv. I think that was hilarious. That Spence started eating a chocolate brownie in the post-fight presser. That
was hilarious.
Do you know what I mean?
That was hilarious. I think for me, it's 50-50. It depends on who. Like I said, it depends on who's got what they have left. I think that Brook has so much hate. No, I won't go so far to say hatred, but he really can't stand Khan. And I don't know if that strong dislike is going to be controlled by him. Especially if Khan starts talking in his ear. I just don't know, and I don't know what he has left. I mean, if Khan still retains even sort of like 75, 80% of the speed, those first 4, 5, 6 rounds are going to be very, very painful.
They are, but then is it going to be enough? Because he had 4 rounds against Canelo. Round 6, he was gone. He had 3 rounds against Garcia. Round 4, he was gone. And it's not just those fights. Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? He had Lamont Peterson down in the first round. But by the 12th round, he lost his belts. There's no choice about the guy's quality. There's no choice about his work rate neither. His discipline, however, like he's had 2 trainers that can turn fighters around in terms of style. And neither one of them could get the gunfight out of him. They couldn't instill enough discipline for him not to go into a gunfight. And I just don't feel at this point working on one fight with a trainer, irrespective of how much the guy like his main man dealt with you. How much do you really think Beaumont's going to change? Just because he's looked at Khan as a target, he's looked at Brook as a target before, and we're going to have to add, irrespective of what people think. In my opinion, again, you know, he didn't fight with Dominic Ingle. He had a team that he's worked with once and never fought with again. There are so many things about the Brook Crawford fight that I just don't feel that there are advantages. The same way I said to you, I don't think that Liam Williams fighting with Adam Booth was an advantage against Chrissy Bratton Jr. And that proved to be the case. Do you know what I mean? I generally think that for as good as Crawford was against Brook, none of those advantages are for Khan. Because we've seen Khan go from trainer to I mean, come on, look at the names of trainers he's had. Yeah, he's fought with Joe Goosen. He's fought with Freddie Roach. He's fought with Virgil Hunter. What makes Beaumont, just because of Terence Crawford, so special that he is going to suddenly have everything come right? Khan being the he. He's going to have everything come right for one fight because he's with Beaumont. I just don't see it. And I'm happy to come straight on after the fight and say I'm wrong if he wins. But I just don't see it because I just don't think the guy can help himself.
Well, this is the other thing, his lack of discipline and this need to show how big his balls are. And that's plagued him throughout his career. There's all these elements which, like I said, just makes for an intriguing fight. That's why I think initially I was leaning more towards Khan, but I think this is a genuine 50-50. For me, it is. Like I know Kell Brook is a slight favourite. Vic 6-4 on, but yeah, we'll see on Saturday. But I am so excited, for this fight. We'll just all I want, whoever wins, whoever loses, I just want it to be a barnstorm of a fight.
Yeah, facts.
That's it. So we'll see what happens on Saturday, bro.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think that's a good note to finish this one on. So yeah, it's been a good discussion, bro. And I'm more than looking forward to coming back and chopping it up after the fight's done. You're going with 50-50. I'm saying Brook knockout. And I'm just glad that it's taken a while, but I'm glad we've actually got the fight because it has all the elements. It's a grudge match. It's 2 past it fighters, so to speak, but both with quite good skill levels. And I think there's a lot to get from this fight. I just hope he isn't a damn squib. It can't.
Yeah, that's why I'm keep my fingers crossed for that. It lives up to expectations and doesn't descend into foolishness, because that will really annoy me.
All right, bro. Well,
all right, bro.
People, thank you for listening. Feel free to add your comments. This has been the TBK podcast. I'm your host David with my boy Tunde, and we're out. And this is the TBK podcast.